What's all this 6-month badge? I haven't got a 6-month badge. Anyway, Ding LIREN 3-1. I got Fabio at 4-1. And what's this thing? I'm subscribed for 16 months to my own channel. That's not very close, is it? It's not very clever, is it? I'll have to sort that out. Anyway, basically, there's all the boys. I didn't do it right. Ding LIREN's 3-1. I've got Fabio next favourite at 4-1. And then I reckon Raza Farouzia would be next. Because you know why I put Raza on 4-1? I thought to myself, this is the candidates for the World Championship. These are the candidates. I've left out Richard Rapport and Jan Krystov, DUDA and Teimour RADJABOV. Sorry, folks, but I left them out because they would be right down the bottom, I think, in my calculations of who could get through. I like the new kid on the block, number 2 in the world, Ding LIREN. Cesar says, Alireza. Yeah, well, I'll tell you, yes, I know he's hungry. And you know what? He's quiet. You know, you've got to watch out for the quiet ones. Now, in the last cycle of the candidates, this is just my opinion, because everyone's got their own opinion, right? But in the last cycle of the candidates, the quiet one was Jan NEPOMIACHI, wasn't it? And everyone was surprised when Jan came through. Jan came through and he won the candidates to play Carlsen. Okay. Well, this is why I think Jan NEPOMIACHI, he won't be under the radar this time. And everyone's had a chance now. All the other top candidates have had a chance to see his best chess, right? Doesn't mean he hasn't got a few punches he can't pack a few punches. The old Jan NEPOMIACHI, oh boy, he can pack a few punches. And that's why I've got him down. I've got Jan as equal third favourite with Hikaru, right? But I like Ding LIREN to win, right? Mainly because he's had such a hard road to the top, and he's battle hardened. He really is. He's battle hardened, and he wants it. He's hungrier than anybody. But there's another player that he wasn't in the last cycle. This is where you got to watch horses, right? Like I used to have a pun on the horses, and I'm treating the candidates players like a field of horses, and I'm thinking Fabio, he was in the cycle before Jan NEPOMIACHI to play Carlsen, and he lost, right? But in that match between Carlsen and Fabio, I don't think we saw the best of Fabio. So Fabio's been quiet. He's been under the radar. Got to watch these people that are under the radar, right? And like Alireza's been under the radar a little bit, but the point is when the push comes to shove, he's in the candidates and he's there. He's a chance. So, yeah, I reckon Ding LIREN, Fabio Caruana, Raza Farouzia, and just underneath them I've got Jan NEPOMIACHI for the experience. For the experience of playing, right? Because this is all about match play. It's about real match play. And there's been a lot of match play going on, but I just think that this Ding LIREN and Fabio's the dark horse. Fabio Caruana, he's the dark horse. He's had the experience of playing in a world championship for the world title, and he failed, right? And he wasn't there last time, was he? Jan NEPOMIACHI was there. So it's not like he came back, but here he is again, hovering around. It's like if you're in the desert, you're dying, you've got no water, and then you look up in the sky, and there's this vulture, flying over the top, waiting to peck your eyes out. Well, I reckon that's Fabio Caruana. So I liken him to a vulture in the desert. And there's poor old Carlson looking for water, going through the desert, and with Ding LIREN and actually Fabio wouldn't be too good in the desert, would it? He wouldn't be too good in the desert on the ground as a human being, but he'd be all right as a vulture, flying around at the top, you see. Anyway, that's what I reckon. So who else thinks... Cesar says he likes Alireza to win. And the real rookie says RADJABOV. But DUDA would be 3-4 for me and RAPPORT 5. Oh, there you go. Yes, so you reckon DUDA would be 3-4. Oh, yeah. I can't see DUDA winning the candidates. Frankly, I can't see it. I can see Ding LIREN winning it. I could see Fabio winning it as a surprise. I could see Raza Farouzia winning it. And I could see Jan NEPOMIACHI like an outside chance. And for the biggest surprise in the whole wide world, Hikaru and Nakamura. And I believe Hikaru's gone into secret training camp. So, is that true? Does everyone know? Do they know what's going on? What's going on with Hikaru? Is he in a secret training camp? What's he doing? Does anyone know? They say he went to Montana or something like that. Is he in part of the artificial intelligence space program, getting all spaced out on chess, or what's he doing? What's Hikaru doing? Hikaru surprises me. Every time he wins another title Tuesday, he surprises me. Anyway, Robert Fox says, Hikaru will kick some behind. I reckon Hikaru is going to win quite a few big games, but he's in Colorado. There you go. The real rookie says Hikaru's in secret training in Colorado, right? Do you think the aliens might be, because I reckon there's a lot of aliens around Colorado, do you think he might have went off with the artificial intelligence and joined the aliens? And, you know, because the aliens can't really, they haven't shown themselves, but the aliens can't really play in the World Chess Championship. Otherwise, we'd know that they're there, right? But the aliens could be training Hikaru to be their champion. Or they might just take over his body, right? Because Hikaru is really, when it comes to chess, Hikaru is like an alien, isn't he? He's all, you know. Anyway, Robert Fox says Hikaru, anyway. And what does Dongfang Hong say? Dongfang Hong wants to challenge. I'm not challenging at the moment. I'm not challenging. What I will be doing is I think we should have a look at some of these guys' games. So, by the way, in the ratings of the players, right? Now, I'll go into, I found this earlier on chess.com. Hold on a second. Where did I find it? Here, was it? Top players. Here it is. I said the top players. Oh, there's the top players there. Ding LIREN's in there. Chinese super grandmaster, who many people consider to be a primary contender for Magnus Carlsen's world title. There you go. I tend to agree with him. He won his first Chinese chess championships at the age of 16. See, so it makes him the youngest ever to do so. So he's got the right groundings to be a world champion, hasn't he, Ding LIREN? And, you know, there's another theory too. It's just a general theory, and it's been espoused for quite some time that the world champion is likely to come from a large population. Because if you've got a billion, just for a billion, for example, right? If you've got a billion people, right? I think China's got, what, 6 billion, haven't they? Something like that. Anyway, if you've got so many billion people, you're more likely to produce a world champion than, say, Australia with just 26 million, right? Okay, so yeah, so that's one theory, and the other theory is, who is the other great world champion to come from a large population, right? It was Anand, Vishy Anand, Vishwanathan Anand. So there you go. There's another player from a large population, and so we're thinking Ding Liren could be the next Vichy for China, right? And Fabio's just Fabio. He's been there, done it before, and he's number 4 in the world. And Fabio's there. Alireza Farouzia, he's number 3 in the world from France. Now, a lot of people were saying that talking about Alireza, they say that Alireza is really, really good at preparing his tournament games and using the artificial intelligence. And it seems to me that that's what Magnus Carlsen excels at. Magnus seems to be able to use those artificial intelligence engines to the nth degree to maximise his chances, and that's what puts Alireza as such a very, very dangerous combatant, right? It's a shame we're not looking at Wesley So. Well, we haven't got Wesley So in the candidates, have we? And we haven't got Levon Aronian. It's a shame because, but Richard Rapport, he's a top 10 player now, and he's had some great results, but I'm still not convinced that he's world championship material. He just seems to be one of these players that knocks on the door, and I mean, if he gets through, I'll be just as happy as anybody else for him, and I'll be just absolutely deliriously enjoying his chess games, and he plays some deliriously enjoying chess games. Anish Giri, we haven't got Anish. We haven't got Anish there in the finals, and here he is. There he is. He's gone to hang out, and Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura. You can see his face there. There's Hikaru. And Hikaru's there, and he's one of the top players. And Maxime, he's number 10. He's there. Maxime, I don't know. Maxime, but he's not in the finals. He hasn't made it. I've got my little list here. It's interesting. We've got number 2, number 3, number 4 in the world, but we haven't got number 5 or 6. Right, so we haven't got 5 and we haven't got 6. Wesley So and Levon Aronian, 5 and 6. We've got number 7. We've got Ian NEPOMIACHI. We've got number 8. We've got Richard Rapport. And, it drops off then. Hikaru is number 11 in the world. Jan Krystov DUDA, who one of the chatters mentioned, he's number 16, right? And there's a big difference. If you were going to be a world championship contender, you'd think that you'd be in the top 10, wouldn't you, right? So, DUDA, I mean, I'm not so sure. All I know is that young Krystov DUDA, he's had some fantastic results, which, really impressive results. And Teimour Radjabov, he's an unknown quantity. He really is. Yeah, so he was born in Baku in Azerbaijan. He's got the right credentials. He comes from the same place as Garry Kasparov, doesn't he, right? Garry Kasparov came from Baku, Azerbaijan, so he's got the right credentials for being a world champion as far as his domestic residence is concerned. Anyway, there they are. There's the top players. There's Vichy. Vichy's number 14, but Vichy's not there. Mamadirov. Mamadirov's not there. It's going to be really... So, and you know what Jan Krystov DUDA does have in his favour? He's one of the youngest members of the 2700 club of Super Grandmasters. You know, you've got to watch out for the young ones coming through. He's one of the youngest. So he could be a surprise. He could be a surprise packet, the old Jan Krystov DUDA. He could be a surprise packet. I haven't got him in my top 3, 4, 5. I haven't got him in my top 5, but he could be a surprise packet. To any of them could be a surprise packet, really. I want to hear what you have to say. Robert Fox says his bullet is out of the world. No games now. Yes, we're going to be playing some games. But I thought we should have a look at some of the games from the candidates players. So I'd like to have a look at some of the games from, say, I've covered Jan Nepomniachtchi a bit, but I'd like to see Ding Liren's games, right? I'd like to play through Ding Liren's games. Yeah, so young early chess career. Ding Liren, 11 years old, and he joined the 2004 Chinese Team Championship. There we go. Why don't we look at Ding Liren versus Ni Hua. That might be a good game to look at. There we go. There he is. There's Ding. This is all courtesy of chess.com records. There's Ding versus Karawana at the 2018 Chess Olympiad. Right? So the two heavyweights currently in the candidates, the 2022 candidates. Look at them. Facing off. There he is. God, he looks formidable, doesn't he? Eh? Here's Bai Jin Shi. Best game. Why don't we just go through, we'll do a tribute to Ding Liren for making the candidates. And we'll have a look at his game. How about that? But look at this game. Whee! How do we look at it? Ding Liren. Ding Liren's got there's the white pieces. Oh, I like to look at the board from that perspective. Right. And how do I get it bigger? Oh, I think I've got it. Hold on, be patient with me. Here we go. We've got Ding Liren versus Bai Jin Shi. Okay, so I'm going to have a look at this game. So I want to have a look at Ding Liren's great game here. Okay, so his opponent, Bai Jin Shi, he's 2,585. So he's a good grandmaster. Knight f6, c4 by Jin Shi. Right. e6, knight to f6. And we've got the Indian game, the East Indian game. And tonight we're doing the tribute to the candidates players. All those players that qualified for the candidates tournament. Right. Bishop to b4. G'day, Robert Fox. Karu might play his new chopstick opening. Oh, no! Robert Fox, I don't think Hikaru is going to be playing the chopstick opening. Right? Yeah, don't... no, not right now, Dong Fang Hong. I'm not playing Blitz chess right now. But I will be later in about 43 minutes. Bishop b4. Knight f3, right? So we've got the... this is the Chinese Chess League, right, back in 2017. But apparently it's a very pretty game. So castles by black. bishop to g5, and this is the three knights. Nimzo Indian defense, three knights, because we can see three knights developed. One on f6, one on f3, and one on c3. c5, very aggressive. And why is it played? Well, that's one of the big questions that we're going to try to answer here. Why would Ding Liren play this move? Well, the reason why is because this bishop has left the queen side. It's a black squared bishop. It's over here on the king side. See this? We put the board like it. We box it. We can see that the king side here, white's king side is blocked in. Takes him a while to castle. And so with the bishop over here extended over to the king side, black wants to attack the black squares on the board, right? The black squares. And to try to develop his pieces and cause trouble for white. Okay, in simple terms. Okay, so e3 is played. Pawn takes pawn. Okay. Queen takes pawn. Now, this is interesting. I don't like this move for white. I don't like it because black's got knight c6. And here it comes, knight c6. And the queen retreats. So white's lost the tempo. Not only are his black squares attacked, but he's lost the tempo. Now black should equalise very easily with d5, you would think, or h6, right? h6, here it is. And now bishop h4, and the bar on the side of the board, the chess engine at chess.com is saying that the position's a little bit even, right? It's pretty even. d5 now he strikes in the centre, right? Black's trying to activate his pieces. If white can have a couple of moves in a row, like rook c1, and bishop e2, well, he'd be fine, wouldn't he, right? But he hasn't. There's one move. He's just putting his rook and queen down onto this queen. g5. Now this is a very strong attacking move. Now what he's really saying to white, what Ding Liren is really saying to white is, I've calculated this. I've calculated you can't play knight takes g5, right? So that's what he's saying. He's saying, I'm big, I'm bold, my name is Ding Liren, I'm 2,759, you're 2,585, I'm over 150 rating points higher than you, and I've calculated that you can't play knight takes g5. Because really, it's testing, isn't it, right? Knight takes g5 looks like the right move. He moved his bishop back. Maybe he was scared. Maybe Ding had scared him. Well, he might have beaten him before. I don't know the results, previous results. Now the knight comes in. Now Ding is very happy here because he's achieved all his goals. He's castled early. White still needs to take two moves to castle. He needs to play bishop here and castle. So, Ding's problem is his bad bishop here. If he can get that rolling, he's all right. Right, so knight goes back to d2. White's trying to stabilise the position. And another thing that white might be doing too here is white might be just trying to play against the pawn structure. See, if we get to an endgame, these two pawns could be weak, right? They could be, unlikely, because you know the bishop's going to take the knight. It's very hard for this bishop to do anything, but it's a testing position. It's still testing because these two pieces are very hard to develop, right? and that's going to test Ding Liren's genius. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. I know that, Robert. Yeah, Hikaru is down to 11 because he hasn't been playing a lot of big tournaments. That's correct. And Hikaru will definitely do something if he's preparing, actually doing some work. You think about it. Hikaru's been off the world stage for quite some time, right? And suddenly he's gifted. He is. He's gifted a chance to play for the world title. We all know that he's a living legend, the Hikaru, on the internet. But imagine if he could put the World Chess Championship title on top of everything else. Someone's going to say Hikaru is the greatest player that's ever lived if he won the world title. It's highly unlikely. It's highly unlikely because usually with these world championship cycles and things, I'm talking about from a historical point of view, a purely historical point of view, normally these grandmasters that win these types of things are very seasoned, right? If you have a look, go back in time. Let's go back in time. I think if you go back in time, you look at people like Petrosian, the Tiger, who won the World Championship. He took a few years to get up there and make his presence felt. And at one particular time, the timing was right. It was just right for him, right? Hikaru's been out of season. He's got a lot of work to do, and sometimes he might do that much work that he might get a bit jaded, right? I certainly hope he doesn't start playing Blitz Entitled Tuesday, Hikaru, because I wouldn't like him to see him be playing Blitz when he's got a World Championship title on the line. I think the World Championship title, even if he abstained from Blitz until the World Championship title's on, then it'll be a different thing. But right now, these are very difficult times for Hikaru. Hikaru is probably doing it really, really tough. Ding Liren did it really, really tough, but Ding Liren's got a space now to get his head together and everything. He's got into the tournament. Now he can get his head in the right space. Hikaru's still got work to do on quality of play. There's different things altogether. Anyway, here, Baijin Shi plays Queen C2, and now comes this thrusting centre move, D4. And now, though White's got a beautiful position here, this area here looks beautiful if you can play Bishop E2 and Castle. However, Black, as I said earlier, was championing the black squares. So if we go back here, I want to go back a few moves. Hold on. I want to go back just a few moves here. Now, here. What does the engine say about knight takes pawn? Oh, the engine doesn't like it. The engine's trying to make up its mind. The engine doesn't like it, says black's winning. Wow. That's what I was wondering what was going on there. Now White's winning here, according to the engine. And now it's changed a little bit. Now White's still good. White's still good. Now knight c5. Queen c2. White's still doing really well in the position. d4. And the engine still likes white. Isn't that amazing? Eh? Okay. Knight f3. Okay. So the engine likes white. And yet Ding Liren does something marvellous. Wonder what he does. Oh, he plays e5. And why shouldn't he? So e5 also opens up his bad bishop. Oh, so he wants to play bishop here. And that way, once he does that, his rook is free to enter the action. Oh, so he's building, but oh, look at this move. This move's not so great. It seems to be equal, but the engine says white's winning. So, wonder what the correct move would be. Would it be pawn hits bishop? Nope. Engine likes black. You can't do that, buddy. So what move could you play? He played knight takes pawn. What about just simply pawn takes pawn? No, he doesn't like that. The engine hates that. I'm trying to find out what the engine would like against Ding Liren, right? What about bishop e2? Engine hates that as well. So knight takes pawn must be about the only move, right? Knight takes pawn. Pawn takes. Woohoo! And now what's happening? Initially the engine says, hey, white's winning. And now the engine does like white's position. I think this is a funny engine. Engine, naughty engine, you're in trouble, engine. Okay. Rook takes queen. There you go. So Ding Liren has sacrificed his queen. Is it a Botez queen? No, well, we don't know yet. We'll find out. He takes the pawn with check, allowing the rook to come back. Okay, so the king moves forwards. He says, I don't want my rook to come back. I'm happy you can have my rook. I just want the pawn. And now rook takes rook. Okay. Now black's winning. After here, now in this position, white's got a good game. King to e2. Oh, the engine says it's not too bad after the check. Rook takes. Engine likes black. Oh, there you go. It changes its mind, doesn't it? The chess engine can be very fickle. Anyway, so Ding Liren sacrificed his queen, and now look at white's position. It's very discoordinated, isn't it? Queen takes pawn. Now he can get his queen back by playing rook checks. We know that. But he doesn't. He plays knight there and attacks the queen. So he's not interested. Okay, can white play knight takes knight? I don't know. I don't think so. He plays queen to c2. Now the knight checks again. King to f3. Gee, isn't that? It's almost like checkmate. It's very close to checkmate, isn't it? Okay, so rook to d. Oh my God. Have a look at this move, will you? He's played rook to d4. Why would you play rook to d4 in this move? It says the chess engine has given this move of Ding Liren double exclamation mark. Not one. Do you know how hard it is to get a double exclamation mark from the chess engine? It's not easy. I've played lots of games and I think I've only got the double exclamation mark twice. I've got it twice. It's not easy to get it, but the whole idea is he's threatening checkmate with pawn check. See that check? If the knight takes it, the bishop retakes back retakes with bishop takes checkmate, right? So pawn here, checkmate is the threat. He played pawn there to stop it, but now, oh no, he played pawn there. Hold on. He played pawn there. That threatens the checkmate again. But was it checkmate by force? What about knight takes knight check? Why didn't he play that? Where's the king go? Check. Oh, if you take with the bishop, have a look at this. If you take with the bishop, then you get an escape square and you can run away. Oh, he doesn't want him to run away. So that's why he played here. Oh, ding LIREN, what a genius, eh? What a boy genius. So he's played h5. So he doesn't want to take the knight because the bishop would move and give an escape square. Okay. So what does white play here? He moves his bishop to get the escape square. Very clever. And now pawn checks. Fair enough. King moves. He wants to run away. He doesn't like the attack. He plays rook hits queen. Oh my God, Father! Look at this. What's happening next? What's he going to do for his next trick? Rook hits queen. Okay, so have a look at this position. Can the white king escape and do a bit of a runner? Okay, can it escape? It moves the queen. He doesn't like that position. If queen takes rook, knight checks, and knight takes queen. Right? He doesn't like that. So he moves his queen away. He says, "I want to keep the queen. It's a good piece." And black gives a knight check. Now where's the king going to go? Okay, king up there. Well, he only had 2 squares. He only had 2 squares. That if he goes here, it's looks pretty bad. I'll show you what happens. Look at this move. If the king comes here, right, rook takes pawn check, right, and then you can put the knight in and lose your knight, but if you move the king takes knight, is bishop checkmate, isn't it? Pretty close. Bishop checkmate. King here. Oh, the king can't go anywhere. Has to go here. Then you've got a rook check. Where does the king go? Nowhere. That means you've got to put the knight in. So rook takes knight check. Where does the king go? Nowhere. You can put the bishop in and rook takes bishop checkmate. Wow, what a game. Okay, so we'll go back. We'll see what he does. So he's played knight checks. The king went that way. He went that way, right? First time chatter, toasting 420. Yeah, I can see what you mean. The real rookie, he says, engine drunk. Yeah, that's right. The real rookie says, isolating the open file. Well, that's what he's done, hasn't he? He's got complete control of the D file. Yeah. I wouldn't be taking the knight. It wouldn't be suggested. I think Ding LIREN's got some other ideas, rookie. Oh, Robert Fox says he's had double exclamation mark 6 times. But he's a genius. Oh, and he says, oh, but the engine robbed him and it was worth 3 exclamation marks. G'day, first time chat from viewer Redwan Imati. My queen, he says. I am Snazzy, says, hello, John. Thank you, I am Snazzy. Okay, so bishop checks, right? And now, well, the next move is forced. King takes pawn. So what does he follow up with now? King, oh, look at this. He makes a king move. You know what he wants to do? He makes a king move. He wants to bring his rook over and checkmate, right? That's his plan. Goodness gracious, because that's the only reason for lifting the king. Okay? All right. Bishop to f4. He wants to get a check down here and slow him up. So he played bishop f4. He got the check. King to h7. And now there's a new threat. Is there a new threat? Is there a new threat? I can't see a new threat. He's going to win a lot of pieces. Queen takes pawn. Why not? Why not? So Jinshi Bei, 2,585. He's decided, I'm going to just go for it. I'm going to just pinch his pawn. My queen wants to do some damage. And now rook takes pawn. He says you can have the knight. Ding LIREN says you can take the knight and you can take the rook. Whatever you like. You can even take the pawn if you like, but not recommended. But yeah, he gives him the rook and the knight. So what's Ding LIREN doing now? He must have a plan. Oh, isn't that checkmate here? Now that this pawn is taken, that pawn would have stopped the knight check. So that knight check is checkmate. That's what Ding LIREN's doing. And now the bishop moves here. Why? Well, you can move your king here if you get checked with the knight. Genius. Rook, now the rook goes to h8. Oh, he finally got the rook to h8. Oh, this is a game and a half, isn't it? This is a beautiful chess game. I've never seen anything like this. This is a real super grandmaster in action, isn't it, eh? Look at this chess. I have never... That is so pretty. And you're doing this to a player that's 2,585 in rating. He's nearly 2,600. And Ding LIREN is just playing with him like a cat with a mouse. Ah, knight takes pawn. So the mouse is just struck out and he's threatening to take the rook. So there's no checkmate, right? So what does he do? Where's the checkmate now? Bishop checks, he says. Go back in your box, you naughty rat. He took a pawn off, right? He took a pawn off. And now can you see a checkmate? Can you see a checkmate? I can't see a checkmate. But we'll have a look. We'll just see what would Ding LIREN do now? If you were Ding LIREN, what move would you play here? Wow. Rook takes knight looks good. Knight checks. He gives his opponent a knight. What a genius. He takes it off. He gives him a bishop check. King moves forwards. And now king check there. And it's checkmate because the only move is bishop check and rook takes checkmate. That's one of the best games I've ever seen. I don't just say that, I really mean it. That is one of the best games I have ever seen. Honestly, it's just beyond comprehension. That's just absolutely phenomenal. It's nearly as good as my games. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Now that is really something. That's something. Don't forget to look at that game again if you ever want to be inspired in your chess. G'day. It's Open Show TV, and he's gifted a tier 1 sub to the community. Isn't that great? Okay, then thank you, Open Show TV. You're a champion. And you know who loves you? You know who loves you, Open Show TV? It's Grandmaster Teddy. Hold on. We'll just go and see him. I want to talk to the Grandmaster. Grandmaster, did you see what Ding LIREN did in this game? So just remember, if you want to take a note of this game, it's on inchess.com, and it's under the greatest players and all the rest of it, right? It's under the greatest players, and we found it by going down here. Right, we went down here. Oh, top players. We looked at these top players, and there they are. And Ding LIREN is number 2. And as you know, for anyone that came into our channel, we were looking at the. That's my. There we go. There's Ding LIREN. I did a market on him. I put him at 3-1. I put Fabio Karawana at 4-1 because I think I said earlier, for anyone that's just come into the channel, I think Fabio is going to be. He's already been to the world title. He played Carlsen before. He knows what he did wrong, and he knows how to improve on it. I haven't seen anything that Magnus has done wrong. I just haven't seen anything that Magnus has done wrong. But then again, I see Ding LIREN here, and I see he's doing the right things. But we do know that Fabio Caruana has been there and fought for the world title, isn't that right, Grandmaster Teddy? And he's been very quiet. He's been doing a bit of commentating on chess.com and stuff like that. But I think he's been in secret training for the world title. And I think we're going to see a lot from Fabio Caruana. I really do. He actually broke the record held by Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura for America's youngest chess grandmaster. Isn't that interesting, isn't it? I see Hikaru Nakamura was America's youngest chess grandmaster, and then along came Fabio Caruana. And that's why in my market, I've got Fabio ahead of Hikaru. I'd like Hikaru to surprise me. I love Hikaru Nakamura. I do. I love Hikaru Nakamura. And I'd love Hikaru to surprise me and be the best chess player he could possibly ever be. I've always wanted Hikaru to be a world chess champion. Always secretly wanted that to happen. But as a chess.com streamer and just a pound for pound blitz maniac, I can't see him being a world chess champion unless he gave up his blitz for maybe 12 months or 18 months and said, no, I want the world title. You know, like it's a big thing to give up, isn't it, right? How do you give up something that you really love for something else that you really love, okay? It's like, you know, you love your mother, but then you give up your mother for a while for your wife. You know, you meet your wife and you say, oh, I love me wife. So you spend more time with your wife, but when you were younger, you'd be spending more time with your mother. And yet you love them both. Well, I think that's the same as Hikaru's blitz and his opportunity, his one shot. I think if Hikaru doesn't win the candidates and have it, this is his shot at the world title. He may never get another shot. Some people might never ever see that chance, just that chance. It's there. You just got to reach out and you got to grab it. You got to grab it and draw it in. Oh, Hikaru. But now Grandmaster Teddy, we have to look at somebody else here. We've got to look at one of the other players. We've got to look at Fabio. We're going to find out. We're going to have a look at a game from Fabio Caruana. Here we go. Fabio Caruana. Here he is. And Fabio, his real name is Luigi. Hey, Luigi, we love you. We love the Fabio. Do you like, hey, Fabio, Luigi, Caruana? We love him. We don't love him. And he's a very mild-mannered, gentleman. He's a real gentleman, the Fabio Caruana, and we love him. I think the chess world loves Fabio. He was born on July the 30th, 1992. He's 29 years of age, but he's been there, you see. He's tasted bitter defeat, and he's got a chance to come back and go, bang, my name's Fabio Caruana, and I'm here, and I want the world title. I'm not satisfied with coming second best, right? I mean, he's only got, this might be his last shot at the world title. We don't know. He's that good that may not be his last shot, but there he is. He was a child prodigy as well, and most of these guys all were. But there'll be a nice game here. There'll be a nice game. There's Fabio. Look at him. He tied first in the Khanty-Mansiysk alongside Nakamura and Dmitry Yakovenko in the final leg of the FIDE Grand Prix. Look at him. Look at Fabio. Look how happy he is, right? And I'm sure he would rather hold that world title. But he knows what it's like to be a winner. What do you reckon, Grandmaster Teddy? Fabio Caruana. He knows what it's like to be a winner. Yeah, so Robert Fox is cheering for Hikaru. Now there you go. Robert Fox says he saw that in Fabio's early childhood that his parents ran away when Fabio was just 7 years old. Gee, wouldn't that make your fires burn? Your heart, your fires would burn, wouldn't they, eh? And that's what probably drives him. That might be his driver, his secret driver. Because a lot of champions, they have something in here. It comes from deep down, right? They're not privileged or the ones that get to the top. Some of them are. They get golden run and everything else. But it's amazing how often in sport, chess and other activities where you've got to fight for the right to party, to be world champion. Well, there we go. You come from the school of hard knocks. That's what they call it, school of hard knocks. He's not like a Mike Tyson, though. It's a Singfield Cup. I don't want to look at that. I don't want to breach any chess.com copyrights. This is a Singfield Cup video. I want to have a look at one of his games. Here we are. I'm sure chess.com would be happy to have a look at one of Fabio's games against a Russian Ponomaryov. This is Fabio's most memorable win of 2014 against the Ukrainian Grandmaster, Russian Ponomaryov, in a Dortmund Sparkassen chess meeting. Sparkassen, I like that name. Reminds me of the Spartans and all the fighting characters, like the Nordics and stuff like that, the Vikings. Sounds like a Viking thing, doesn't it? Eh? Sparkassen. Anyway, here we go. You think of the word Spartakiad and stuff like that, you know. Played in Dortmund, Sparkassen, Germany. There we go. Rightio. We'll have a look at this. We'll see what we can find out about it. How do we get the board bigger? Last time, Grandmaster Teddy, you know all these things. You're always doing the chess training. No, we don't want it. Oh, we want the... We're going to get the board up. How do we get that board up? I want to get that board up into the analysis room. E4. Okay, we can see E4. Here we go. Oh, it's the analysis room. We're in, Grandmaster Teddy. Yeah, so we've got, in our odds, we've got Fabio Caruana as the second favourite to win the candidates. The first favourite we had was Ding LIREN. Okay. And here in this game, we've got Fabio playing the white pieces against Russian Ponomaryov 27-23. We haven't heard much from Russian Ponomaryov of recent times. I hope he's okay, because he was in the Ukraine, wasn't he, or something? E5, knight to f3, knight to f6, knight takes pawn. Oh, guess what? I'm so happy to present this game to you. I've been playing this variation, and when I've been playing online and they've played the Petrov's defense against me, I've been playing Fabio Caruana's favourite line. D6, knight there. Okay, knight takes pawn, knight c3, takes. Okay. Oh, this is a different line. There is a line where Fabio takes the queen off down here and gives a big bishop check. That's another variation. Okay. Bishop e3 by the mighty Fabio. Develops his bishop, so now he's preparing to castle queenside or kingside. So he's just getting his pieces out. Queen to d2, he wants to castle queenside. That's what he's showing us. Castles, there he goes. He says, you take my pawn if you game. Now, you can't take that pawn, Teddy, can you? Because after pawn here, the bishop's trapped, isn't it? Okay. So if you take that pawn, pawn here, and king here, and the bishop's trapped. So we can't take that. So now queen to d7. King to b1. A la Ben Feingold. Ben Feingold says, if you castle queenside, you're almost certainly going to have to play king to b1, right? Right, bishop to f6. And now h3 was played. h6, b3. I think they're expanding. Black's Ponomaryov is playing a little bit tighter, trying to keep his structure nice and tight. And I want to thank people for coming in and following my channel, right? And tonight we're looking at the candidates players. We're talking about the 8 qualifiers for the candidates. And let me read them out to you. There's number 2 in the world, Ding LIREN, 2,806. Number 3 for the candidates to play for the world title, Raza Farouzia, 2793. Number 4, the mighty Fabio Karawana, rated 2783. Right? And number 7, Jan Nepomniachtchi is back. You can't keep Jan Nepomniachtchi down. He's back. He might be an automatic qualifier. Anyway, and number 8 in the world is Richard Rapport. Richard Rapport has surprised us all with his beautiful chess. Beautiful, beautiful chess. And then we've got number 11. At 11, Hikaru Nakamura, off to Colorado. He's off to Colorado and he's in a secret camp and he's training really hard to be the world champion and he wants to win the candidates, the Hikaru Nakamura machine. It's working overtime. And we reckon he could be working with the aliens, right? The aliens. You know the ones that you don't see? Well, the aliens, they're hiding in the moon somewhere and they want to play chess. The aliens want to win the world chess title and they can't do it themselves because they can't come out in the opening. We all know that in the open. So what they're doing is they're working with Hikaru to take the world title and they're giving Hikaru the artificial intelligence. So he's inside the deep Colorado complex with the artificial intelligence studying for the world chess title. That's what he's doing. That's my theory. You might have your own theory, and it might not be as ridiculous as mine. And then, of course, we've got number 13, Teimour RADJABOV. Right? Teimour RADJABOV, 2,753. I've got him on the outside of my initial group of possible winners, but he's the sort of player that he could do anything, so nothing would surprise us with Mr. RADJABOV. And number 16, Jan Krystov DUDA. We had a few people in the chat that are Jan Krystov DUDA fans. and they thought Jan Krystov DUDA might shake up this field somewhat. And there's no doubt that either way, there's always a surprise from the candidates. And lurking underneath, very, very, very quiet, Raza Farouzia. There you go. That's Teddy's pick. Grandmaster Teddy. Thank you, Teddy. You sit down there. Right. We know one thing about the candidates, huh? None of the candidates' players, seriously, none of them will be playing goofy moves. Isn't that right, Goofy? No goofy moves for the candidate players. They know what they're doing. Anyway, here we are. We're playing through this game through courtesy of chess.com and their top line player profile on Fabio Karawana, playing the white pieces. He's 2,789. We're in the Petrov's defense, the classical. It's a classical Nimzo or whatever. And here we go. A6 is played. Gee, I'll tell you what, Ponomarev, he plays it, he's just playing quietly. He's not taking any risks. He's just waiting to see what Fabio does. Fabio expands on the king side, and there's a message there for Ponomarev. You know what the message is? Well, this is the message. It's pretty obvious to me what the message is. If you've got big cojones, castle king side, right? And if you're frightened of the mighty Karawana, don't castle king side, but be careful where you do castle, right? He castled queen side. He must have heard me. No, this was played way back in 2014. Played at the Dortmund, GER, Dortmund Sparkassen, right, tournament. Bishop G2. So what he's doing is he's got his bishop along down there to the king. Knight up there, so he's opened up his bishop straight away, and knight takes knight's a threat to smash the pieces together there. Knight takes, he eliminates that. Pawn takes, that's right. In this position here, white looks at his position. He says, oh, I've got double pawns here. Double pawns are not good for the endgame, so I'm going to recapture with the pawn. Take towards the centre, and that's a good move. Now, what white has here in this position, because that's what we've got to do. If you were a grandmaster like Fabio Caruana and you had this position, there's certain stages of the game where you just got to take stock of what's really happening. Right, so examine all checks, examine all captures, examine all threats. So we look at the black position and the white position, we say, oh, okay, so is white threatening anything? The answer is simply yes. White's threatening to push that pawn and that bishop is trapped. It's got nowhere to go. So that's a real big threat, right? And the other thing white's got in his favour is white's got space. He's got two bishops attacking, and he's got a possibility of pawn here. He's got space, right? He can also attack here at some stage, not right now, but he's also got this f4. This is the big move that could cause a whole lot of trouble. This f4 move. So there's two big moves, pawn here and pawn here, and they're both pretty frightening moves. But this is like the most frightening one. It has to be dealt with straight away. So he plays d5. And now f4, the second most frightening move, just like we predicted. He takes the pawn off and the bishop recaptures. Now he plays bishop g7. No, he pushes the pawn. One other way to play this would be to you drop your bishop back and just protect it, so it's protected twice. Right, so we'll try both moves and see what the engine does with the white bar and white-black bar on the side of the board. So we know that the Russian Ponomarev has played this move, okay? And how does the engine react? Oh, advantage to white, good. And now, what if this move's played? they're about the same, but the engine tends to like my move a little bit, right? You're not about the same. All right then. Oh no, actually the engine prefers my move. No, it doesn't. It's changing its mind. You know, the engine, do you think the engine might have some female characteristics about it? Right? I'm not being sexist towards the chess engine, but they always say a young lady has a right to change her mind, right? Probably take that from weddings and things like that, you know. If they don't want to get married, they can change their mind in the last minute. It's worse if a man does it, I think. G5, bishop to G7, and now rook to E1. Now what white's achieved here is a spatial advantage, okay? White's got a spatial advantage in this position. He's got that square covered, 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 and that square covered. So he's got a little bit of a spatial advantage, but you've got to convert that to a win. And now Ponomarev decides that he doesn't want white to link his pawn. Right? Now the bishop goes for the bishop. Why? Because there are... Oh, look at this move. Wow. Okay, so bishop is bishop. Now, a lot of people would take the bishop and then play rook to E5. That's what I would probably think about doing. But this move here... Oh, this move here, queen there. Just a pressure... It's a pressure move, right? It's just pressure. And now the queen goes back. Yeah, so the whole idea is black wants white to take the bishop. So he doesn't. He makes him feel unhappy. So he doesn't want to take the bishop. Now he moves his bishop to D3. And he says, I'll play this a different way, thank you very much. I think there was a threat there. There might have been a threat of bishop takes bishop followed by G6. And you can't take the pawn because the rook takes bishop here or something like that. And so the bishop goes back and now king to B2. King to B2. It's a Karawana or Karawana on the WC 1400. No. Bishop takes bishop, now rook takes. Now, if we look at the board here, it's an important capture. We have to analyse, again, we take another stock of the position, a stock check, and we can see that white has got dominance in the centre, but has he got enough to win? Okay. He's got a lot of dominance, a lot of position. His bishop is a very good bishop. This pawn on the black square complements the bishop. This pawn here complements this bishop too. And this rook is going to come into the game, adding a bit more firepower. Rook to G7. The idea is black wants to double the rooks and take the G pawn. A4. Oh, A5. He didn't like that pawn move. Wow. Okay, king to A. Oh, I don't know why he doesn't. I can't move that off here because of bishop takes pawn. Of course. So king there. Queen back. Oh, now he's threatening the pawn. King back. Queen there. Wow, he's decided in this position. White's decided that he doesn't want to take the A pawn because the B pawn's more important, okay? So this is a position that could easily be a draw, but he doubles the rooks and he gives his opponent the pawn. He takes it, the rook hits the bishop, moves back, and now rook takes pawn. So what Fabio is saying is his assessment is it's more important to keep the pressure on the king side than what it is to take the pawn on the queen side, right? Rook takes rook and queen takes rook. Ah, now b6. Queen hits castle. This is an interesting move. And it's a big problem for black. Rook goes back and now queen there. Look at this move, will you? Threatening rook takes pawn, threatening queen takes pawn. What else is he threatening? Probably a whole lot of other things. Bishop to e6. Oh no, here it comes, the lever. This is a pawn lever, right? Now rook goes to g7, he's still holding on. Pawn takes and bishop takes. The trouble is that this is pinned along here. This bishop is badly placed. Now, rook here. Hold on a minute, you can't play that. Rook there, pawn takes, bishop takes, rook there. Am I blind or am I seeing things? Am I seeing things? Not possible. They must be in time trouble. That's the only thing I can account for. We're on move 39 and we've probably got a 40 move time control. Queen takes rook by Ponomarev. Bishop there. Oh my godfather. Where did that come from? Oh my godfather. I didn't see it. Did you see that move? Did you see that move? Did you see what Fabio Caruana did? Look at the genius. Look what the genius has done. He attacks the bishop, forces the bishop to take the pawn. Then when the bishop's taken the pawn, then he pins the bishop against the rook, leaving the rook there for nothing. And the queen takes a rook, and now bishop there. Hey, it's checkmate. What pure genius. What a lovely finish. King takes a6 and checkmate. Oh my God. That's why Fabio Caruana can be the next candidate's winner. And that's why I've got Ding LIREN and Fabio Caruana as my selections for the candidates' winners. I have one other player that I want to really feature that I think is under the radar. It's Alireza Farouzia. I think Alireza Farouzia is under the radar too. So I want to go back here. I want to go back to top players. I want to honour Alireza Farouzia. Here he is. This is the Alireza, Iranian-born grandmaster, living in France, a world-class player and youngest player in the world rated over 2,700. Two-time Iranian champion and reigning European Fischer Random champion. There we go. In 2019 and 2020, Farouzia electrified the chess world with his second place finish in the World Rapid, 1 point behind Magnus Carlsen, the then world champion. And his amazing 5 out of 7 start at the Tata Steel tournament. Now, if Alireza was a horse, he's not a horse. No, he's not a horse. But if he was a horse, I'd say, you know what they do with race horses? They run a few big races and they get up to a certain level and they go out to pasture for a while, right? They go out to pasture for a while, and I think that's what Alireza's done. So he's under the radar a little bit. He's peaked a little bit a year or so ago, right? And now he's ready for another peak performance, possibly in the candidates. We might be seeing something special from Alireza Farouzia, and he's one of my top 3 selections. I've selected Ding LIREN, Fabio Caruana, and Alireza Farouzia. Now, Chess.com's got some wonderful information on Alireza. Got all his graphs here. his bio, his biography, about how he's played and everything, and story about being Iranian champion. There he is, smiling young assassin. And we're going to have a look at this game here. When he was 12 years old, he outplays an experienced grandmaster, RADJABOV, right, a former European champion. Okay. And I'm going to go through the same problem again. Here we go. I found it this time. I'm learning about the chess.com site. And I think it takes a while. If you're a member of chess.com, it's always good to, if you can afford to, not everyone can, but if you can afford the diamond membership, you get access to all the features on chess.com, and it's just really something special to be able to enjoy your chess this way. Right, so here we go. Pavel Trevor, he's 2589, so he's only 2600 rating. Ali Farouzia was only 2,372. That's about the highest that I've ever been. I've been about 2,376. So I've been higher than higher rated than Alireza. Not in tournaments, not over the board. Alireza is a completely different kettle of fish. Knight F3, D5. Oh, there is one player. There's one player that didn't quite make the candidates this year, right? Okay. And I've got secret information that this player, who I'm about to name, is going to break through the next World Chess Championship cycle. And this player that I'm about to name, chess.com, most of the world's press, they haven't heard this name before in the candidates of the World Championship cycle. He hasn't been there before, but he's privately told me that he's going to come into the next, not this cycle, but the next World Championship cycle, and he's going to take the world title by both hands. I introduce you to Grandmaster Teddy, right? I'm serious. He's told me. He told me he's going to take the World Championship with both hands. Aren't you, Teddy? I'm very proud of you, son. There we go. You sit down there now. We'll play through this game. Right, G3. And now Pavel Trevor plays Knight F6 and Bishop G2, Bishop F5, C4, which is the logical move, as we know, to strike along the diagonal, along the white squares, counter there on D5. Okay, and we have, this is played at the Qatar Masters, Doha, right, back in 2015. Okay, King's Indian attack, Yugoslav variation. E6, a very strong, solid move. Pawn takes pawn, and D6. Now, Alireza, was a check. Oh boy, Trevor, never miss a check, it might be mate. And knight goes to C3. Oh, hold on. Why can't he push the pawn on the knight? Does that win a piece? Almost. Not on your life, Nelly. He played knight to C6. No, you can't do that. You can't play pawn here in these kind of positions. A big check might come. Big check. And then it could be very messy. Could be very messy. So we'll just see what happens. You play knight to C6, castles, and now bishop to G5. And now what white's doing, I've had this position a couple of times actually. What white's doing is he's putting pressure. He wants to take this knight and then take the pawn, right? Or force you to take with the G pawn. That would be very bad. So he pushes the pawn. One could argue that this is a big weakness because when you push this pawn, it loses contact with the other three pawns, so it becomes almost like an advanced isolated pawn. What else does it do? What else does the move do? Well, it does restrict white's position a little bit. Does restrict white's position a little bit, and it threatens to take the knight. So there are a few moves there. Bishop takes knight. Queen takes. Now, obviously, you don't want to take with the pawn. And now knight to d5. So the whole idea now is black's going to play queen d6. Yes. Knight takes bishop. Queen takes knight. And queen c2. Nope, he doesn't. Okay, so idiot face, that's me. I suggested queen here. But Alireza Farouzia, being a stronger player than me, he chooses knight to d2, and by doing so, he opens up his bishop, and he's happy for white to take that pawn, as he can play rook hits queen, and rook takes b pawn. So knight goes up there. Rook to c1 threatens a pawn, right? Key pawn. Rook protects it. What black wants to do is to play pawn here. This is what he'd like to do. If he can get pawn in here, then he'd be okay. But white won't let him. Alireza won't let him. Plays queen here, and now pawn there. And you see the little disconnect with the c5 move? He might play c5 anyway, but he'd lose a pawn. After pawn to c5, pawn takes, rook takes, queen takes, and the b pawn would fall. So rook, so that basically what he's done is he's given Alireza the square that Alireza wants. Rook to c5, and now he's just occupying key squares. Bishop hits, he's doing counterplay now. Knight takes pawn, could be a threat, because if pawn takes knight, the bishop could take the queen. So that's a possible threat. What else? Rook takes. Hold on. Have I missed something here? No, I haven't. Excellent judgment by Alireza. After rook takes, knight forks, queen moves, knight takes rook. And basically, his judgment is that he's got a better endgame after he snatches the b pawn. Now rook to b8. In this position, let's have a look. If bishop takes e pawn, queen to d2 might be played. So where's this thing here? If bishop takes pawn here, queen to d2 could be played, and black would lose a piece. Okay, so after bishop takes pawn, queen here, right? A rook here, and then rook here, and how are you gonna? I mean, you're all tied up. How are you gonna save your piece? It's not easy, is it? So it's pretty bad. So here, bishop takes pawn, he's happy. Rook hits bishop, bishop f6. And now they just move around. And now white's got 2, 4, 6, 7. And that's why occasionally, as I always say, you've got to do an assessment of your position midstream, right? And try to work out whether you're winning or losing. And that way you can also, if you do an assessment of your positional values on the board, you can also come up with ideas as to how you can improve those values or threaten something. Right, a5 is played. Very aggressive move by Tregyabov, by the mighty Tregyabov. He's a good player. Queen to d2, just protecting the pawn. Pawn takes, and queen there, and bishop hits bishop. Now, wonder why he does this. I can see White's got a good setup with the 5 pawns. He might have decided that he can't win. I'll show you this. If in this position you tried to hold the pawn here would be a monster because you can't stop pawn takes pawn and this pawn coming through. So what he's decided in his wisdom, his infinite wisdom, is that by playing bishop here, he can just change bishops. Black doesn't want to change bishops. Black wants to win the game. Rook to c1. So he attacks the pawn. Queen takes pawn. Takes, takes, takes. Now he plays f5. He can't take because of the checkmate at the back. Right? Rightio, I'll show you what I meant. In this position, you can't take the pawn because you get checkmated. Right? Rook takes pawn, rook check, bishop goes back, and bishop here. And this bishop has a dual purpose. It stops the check and also delivers checkmate. Right? Okay. So in that position, that's why f4 is played. Now he's on this pawn, it can't be defended. Pawn to h6, rook takes pawn, and now White's got 5 pawns. And the difference in this position between both players is that White's got connected pawns, right? These pawns, they don't look too connected, but they actually are. Because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pawns in a row against 4 pawns, and 1 pawn is disconnected. Right, so that's a weak pawn, okay? It'd be very interesting to watch how Alireza Farouzia wins this endgame. That's what the super grandmasters are really good at, winning these types of positions. So rook here, pawn takes, takes, king up, king there. And now you can see what Black's now got 1, 2, 3 pawn islands, okay? White's got sort of 2, 1, 2, okay? And pawn islands are a weakness, they really are. This is an interesting position. Black wants to play bishop here and draw, I think. Pawn there, that'll stop him. And it's a killer move too. Have a look at this. The bishop's got to go back. Now you can't play rook here. Why not? Because the bishop will pin your rook and do some nasty business. And that could be a draw, right? Because after bishop takes bishop, king takes, rook takes e-pawn. Okay. So rook here, he plays it anyway. Rook, bishop back. So he doesn't play bishop here. Okay. Oh, the reason why he doesn't do it is no, he can do it. Okay, so bishop here, I don't like this move. That looks like a terrible move. King to f6, I like that, Ali. I like that one. Rook takes pawn. Uh-oh. 4 pawns to 2. The writing is on the wall. And now it's all over. 4 pawns against 1. I'll just play through it. Rook d6 and Black resigned. That was just a fine game from Alireza Farouzia when he was only 23.72 and he beat somebody more than 200 rating points above himself, right? Yeah. And so that was played a long time ago by our standards. It was played way back in 2015. But since then, he's matured, he's a super grandmaster, and he wants to take a world title. Good luck to him too. He deserves everything that he gets, right? And I mean that. I wish him well. A lot of people love Alireza Farouzia. Okay, listen, with that, I'm going to end my my presentation of the 8 qualifiers for the world candidates. I'll name them again. We've got Ding LIREN, we've got Raza Farouzia, we've got Fabio Karawana, right? And of course we've got Jan NEPOMIACHI, who challenged last time. And we've got Richard, who plays all those beautiful chess games. And it's always a pleasure to play through Richard Rapport's chess games. And then we've got Hikaru Nakamura in Colorado, hiding down in, bunkering down with the aliens, studying the artificial intelligence, getting ready to take the world title. And then, of course, we've got Teimour RADJABOV, right? Teimour will probably come out and hit somebody over the head with a baseball bat and steal the world crown. But he's tough. He's tough. That's what I mean. He's just a tough chess player to beat. And then, of course, we've got Jan Krystov DUDA, a new kid on the block, another one of these new super champions.